Now that we've logged into the MemoryWeb desktop uploader, let's take a quick minute here to get oriented with this page. This is the screen that you're going to see the first time you log in. This is our upload section, and you can tell that by looking here on the left. You can see in the green that we have uploads, and then we also have a download section and then settings. We're just going to go into the upload section right now, and I'll have separate videos for download and settings. So looking here in the middle, in order to actually grab folders of photos, you're going to want to either drop the folders here if you've already identified those on your computer, or if you want to look for some, use the browse method. And I prefer the browse method, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that link there. And then I'm going to open up a directory of folders of photos that I have. You can see here that I have some test folders ranging from the 1890s to just one that says demo test files. And a couple things that I want to point out here. I can simply just grab a folder of photos, click on it, and then click select folder in order to add those to the queue of photos to be uploaded into my account. But I think we need to take a step back really quickly so that you're really familiar with what your options are. So I know in my folders here that I have subfolders of photos. And a really good example of that is the 1970s. You can see here underneath that main directory, I have lots of different organized folders of photos. And if I didn't want to upload every album or every folder of photos in here, I can just choose the ones that I want to add. So if I want to do 1973 and 1974 only, I could select those two and then push the select folder button to add those to my queue. Or if I want to, in fact, organize all of them from the 1970s, I could go back and just grab that folder. One thing I think is really important that I want to point out here is if you were to go in here and let's say you weren't quite sure which photos you wanted to add for this 10th birthday party, you're going to get a screen that says no items match your search. And it's not an error. The reason why you're getting this message is that the desktop uploader will only upload entire folders of photos. So the only way you're going to get these photos in for this birthday party album is by selecting the entire folder. If you just want to upload individual photo files, that's totally fine. That's great. I would just use the desktop, or excuse me, the website version of our app to do that. There's a really easy way to do that on the app where you can individually select the files. So use the uploader for entire folders of photos, and you can use the website app for individual photos. So for our demo here, I'm going to go back to this main directory and I'm going to choose a couple of folders that I have not uploaded yet. So I'm going to grab these two here and then I'm going to choose select folder. Okay, and you can see here that not only the main folders like 1960s are visible here, but then also those individual subfolders. Now, if you grabbed a subfolder that you didn't want to by accident, you would be able just to remove it by clicking remove. And something that I want to point out too is as you upload these photos from your computer into MemoryWeb, we're going to grab the last two folder names. And I'm actually going to click back to show you this more vividly here. This is a great example. We're now on the 1960s folder. And you can see underneath there we have two subfolders, CDF fishing trip and Dezeglowitz photos. So when these two folders of photos come in, they are going to be tagged with the last two folder names that they were filed under. So in this case here of this CDF fishing trip, they're going to come in automatically tagged into an album called 1960s CDF fishing trip. The next folder will come in tagged 1960s Zeglowitz photos. And that makes it really easy because we preserve your organization system to create albums, and that information is searchable inside of our app. And it's also something that is going to put them into a separate album section inside the app and make them really easy to find and view. So I just wanted to point that out since I hadn't pointed that out earlier. And so I'm going to close this window here. And now we're back to the folders that we added to the uploader. Now they're not uploading yet because we've only placed them on here. In order to actually get them connected and moving into your MemoryWeb account, you need to come up here and click upload. So you can see here that's just going to take a minute or so to process, and that was actually quite quick because we only had 149 photos. And something to keep in mind if you have thousands and thousands of photos that you're uploading into MemoryWeb, which we think is fantastic, and by all means do that. It may take a little longer than you would anticipate or what you have experienced with other typical photo apps. And the reason behind that is, for example, the fact that we're grabbing your folder names and creating albums. We're using as much of the information on individual files as well as organization that you have around those to automatically organize and tag them for you. So it may take a little bit longer than you would anticipate to get photos in on the first time you're uploading all of them, but we're grabbing all the metadata that we can and creating tags and organizing them. So it will save you a tremendous amount of time on the back end. So just rest assured as you're watching that go. That is it at the moment for the uploading photo section. It's just going to take a little bit of time to upload these, and I'm going to pause now, and then we're going to go into the download section.